When I was being humiliated in the streets as a woman everyone could have, I was saved by a young general. He took off his cloak and wrapped it around me. Men had always taken my clothes off. He was the first to dress me. To repay his kindness I became his servant. He pitied me and cherished me, but never touched me. 这3 months. His head was hung mockingly on the city wall by the enemy general. The emperor surrendered, offering up the city's beauties. I changed my name and went to the enemy kingdom as a tribute woman. I had to see who killed my beloved. When I learned of Gu Zhuzhou's death I had a fever for 3 days. It also so snowed. His head hung on the city wall through wind and snow. Left to the mercy of the bitter cold. Heavy snow covered the entire capital in white with few people on the streets. Even the gate guards were slacking off somewhere. Crunching through the snow, I climbed up the city wall. Carefully holding the stone railing I took down Gu Zhiyu's head. He looked like he was sleeping. Snowflakes hung on his thick eyelashes. His once rosy lips had turned pale white. Luckily, it was winter. The wounds on his face had frozen without rotting. Thinking about it made my heart cold. Zhu Zhao fought desperately to protect Dao Lan. Yet after death no one collected his body. I held back the soreness in my nose and said to him, General, I'm taking you home. By now the Gu mansion was deserted like an empty house. I buried Gu Zhou's head under the pear tree in the backyard. He loved to stand there lost in thought when he was alive with no tools. I dug a hole with my bare hands. Blood and snow mixed together. But it couldn't compare to 1/10,000th of my heart's hat. After covering the soil, I kowtowed deeply, promising in my heart, General, when the pear tree blooms, I'll come see you again. After doing all this I left the Gu mansion through the side gate and entered a small household on Yangge Lane. Uncle Qin and Qin were waiting for me. Miss Wanqi, have you thought it through? Once you go there's no turning back. Their daughter hid in the dark corner, watching me nervously. Our side was defeated. In the capital they selected young women to go to Beiqi as tribute women. But Qin's daughter happened to be on the list. Everyone knows tribute women never return. Which decent family would want to push their daughter into hell? I was different. Before meeting Gu Zhiyu Zhao, I was already a courtesan. I've made up my mind from now on Shu Wanqi no longer exists. I am Qin Yun. Uncle Qin and his wife knelt down with their daughter upon hearing this. Miss Wanqi, thank you so much. I helped them up. Actually, I should thank them. They gave me the chance to get close to the man who killed Gu Zhiyu Zhao and humiliated him. 3 days later, I took Qin Yun's place and came to Beiqi with the envoys. Our group was settled in crew tents for selection. My target was Beiqi's General Xiao Yan. The highest-ranking person would surely pick first. The other tribute women huddled together in fear while I stood straight when Xiao Yan lifted the tent flap. With seductive eyes. When our eyes met his gaze trembled. His voice was deep. What's your name? Qin Yu. His well-defined fingers gripped my chin. You have some beauty. He turned to the envoy and said, I'll take her. The envoy nodded repeatedly. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It was easier than expected. In the lavishly decorated, a complete tiger skin was spread over the ornate chair. I lightly touched it and the door creaked open. I turned and bowed to him. A smile played on Xiao Yan's lips. Do you like it? I've never seen him before. His long arm reached out, pulling my slender waist against his chest. Serve me well tonight, and this general will give you. The moment Xiao Yan's lips approached I turned my head and tried to dodge, but he pulled hard. The thin silk draped on me slipped halfway down my arms, revealing the vivid peony flower on my back. He stared. Who painted this? A painter. My heart trembled as Gu Zhuzhou's face flashed in my mind. Xiao Yan circled my waist from behind and kissed my back. Did he know your body is as soft as water? I turned around, putting my hands on his shoulders. Standing on my toes, I breathed softly in his ear. From now on only you will know. These skills of playing hard were all taught to me by Madame Qin from the Zufeng house. Years ago my father drugged me and sold me to Zufeng house. He lied, saying, once big brother married sister-in-law he'd come redeem me. I refused customers. Madame Qin locked me in the woodshed for a whole month. She mocked. You actually believe what men say? Dad said he'd come redeem me, so he definitely will. She smiled coldly, turned, and walked out, shutting the door. I tried to escape twice but failed, got dragged back and beaten viciously. Madame Qin's thugs were no joke. They showed no mercy with their fists and feet. They didn't stop until I coughed up blood. In the dark yard the thick smell of blood lingered. I lay on the cold ground while rats squeaked in the corners. They eyed the food Madame Qin threw in, but I grabbed it first, shoving the meal into my mouth. My only thought then was to stay alive. Only by living could I escape. The third time, I finally succeeded. The broken house at home had become a courtyard. Father was shocked to see my face, but still let me in. That night I heard my new sister-in-law scolding my brother. Your sister worked at Zuifeng house. I can't live under the same roof as a prostitute. People would laugh at us. Brother meekly agreed. All right, I'll make her leave first thing tomorrow. No, kick her out now. What if Zufeng house's madam comes looking and wants us to return the money? We don't have any money left. We used it all to build the house. Their voices grew quieter, then hurried footsteps. Dad's face was all scrunched up. Don't blame me. Once you enter that order for life, you're no longer part of the Xu family. I finally understood Madame Qin's laugh. She was laughing at how. Finally I accepted my fate and submitted to her training. I became Zuifeng house's top courtesan. The sharp pain below spread through me. I snapped back to reality. Xiao Yan kissed my forehead. Does it hurt? He didn't stop moving. His eyes mixed with desire and destructive urges, his voice husky. Bear with it. He was my first client and probably my last. I bit my lip, afraid he'd see my discomfort. Buried my head in his neck as tears fell with his sweat. Drop by drop. Gujiuzhou, look what I wanted to give you before you wouldn't take. Now I'm lying beneath your tiller, scheming to please him. Don't be sad, I'm doing this to avenge you. After the storm, I was covered in fine beads of sweat. Shaoyan sat on the bed's edge tying his belt. I leaned my head lightly against his back. He turned around and looked at me for a moment. I figured my face must be flushed and alluring. Madam, Hian always said, women are most captivating at this moment. Xiao Yaoyan kissed my cheek. Get some rest. I grabbed his wrist. Won't the general stay the night? No, he was already at the door when he turned back to me. If you need anything, tell Kaiping to handle it. I nodded once I confirmed he was gone. I called Kaiping's name. Yeah. Miss, what can I do for you? Yes. Bring water. I want to bathe. Alright. I sent Kaiping away. Before leaving, Kaiping asked again. Miss, are you sure you don't need my help? No need. I scattered fragrant powder in the tub, scrubbing my body hard, washing away Xiao Yan's sin. The bronze mirror behind me reflected the peony flower on my back. Gujiuzhou had tattooed it there to cover my scars. He pitied me and cherished me. Nothing like the other men I met at Zuifen House. Zuifen House women were ranked low class. Prostitutes served the Eliu. To both beauty and talent only served wealthy clients. The highest class was someone like me, naturally gifted, carefully trained by Madame Qin, waiting for someone to pay a fortune. On my debut day, the ninth prince took a liking to me. He waved his hand, wanting to buy me as a cull. But everyone knew he was vicious and cruel. The last woman he bought was carried out of his mansion horizontally. Madame Qin hesitated. He brought a whole chest of gold to Zuifen House. Servants came to tie me up. I struggled and fought. He raised his whip and stepped on me. No one has ever dared refuse me like this. Wanzi, don't be ungrateful. One lash was enough to tear my skin open. Madame Qin pleaded tearfully. Wanzi, just submit to the ninth prince. You'll enjoy wealth and glory for life. She had promised to let me choose my clients, but now she was going back on her word. I stubbornly said, no. The ninth prince's whip struck even harder. Even after beating me, he wasn't satisfied. Ordered them to throw me in the street. I want you to know what happens when you defy me. Heavy rain began to fall. I was covered in mud and filth. Blood mixed with dirt made my wounds sting even more. I didn't have the strength to stand. A man passed by and pushed aside my messy hair. Isn't this Miss Wanzi from Zuifeng House? Go away. I recognized him. He was a regular at Zuifeng House. But his wealth couldn't buy me. He gritted his teeth and looked around sneakily, dragging me into a dark alley. His greasy hands. His mouth came to my ear. I turned my head and bit down hard. The man jumped up and slapped me. You've fallen so low, and you're still putting on airs. As he tried to lean down again, a clear male voice drifted to my ears. What are you doing? A righteous figure came into view, a young general in armor. Under the emperor's feet, how dare you assault a woman in broad daylight? Come with me to the magistrate. The man protested. She's a prostitute from Zuifen House. Anyone can have her. Go ask if you don't believe me. The young general glanced at me and took off his cloak, wrapping it around me. A pleasant woody fragrance surrounded my body. Men who came to Zuifen House only wanted to undress me. Only he dressed me instead. Even prostitutes have the right to refuse his words. Hit my heart word by word. The man backed away several steps and fled in panic. The young general lifted me up, his hands stained with blood. Don't dirty your clothes. It's fine. I used all my strength to stand up and thank him. Leaning against the wall, moving slowly as blood dripped to the ground drop by drop. The pain was too much. I slid down the wall to my knees. The young general caught up and asked, where is your home? I'll take you back. Even though he had just saved me, I couldn't trust him easily. I pushed away his hand and untied the cloak. I have no home. Here's your cloak back. Keep it. He saw my stubbornness and his hand froze in midair. I tried several times to get up, but the wounds pulled painfully and I couldn't move. He swallowed and said, if this continues, you'll lose too much blood. Why don't you come with me? I'll find a doctor to treat you. No need. Men are never that kind. Their kindness always comes with a price. I finally stood up, but after 2 steps I collapsed again. The man behind me sighed softly. He caught up and lifted me. I'm taking you to my mansion. Don't worry, I mean no harm. I am General Gujiuzhou of the Northern Command. Northern Command General. I think I'd heard name before. My vision blurred and I passed out. When I woke up, I was lying on my stomach while a maid applied medicine. Miss, don't move. This wound will probably scar. I planned to leave the Gu mansion once I felt better before leaving. I didn't want to owe anyone anything when I was thrown out of Zuifeng House. The ninth prince had his men strip away everything valuable. The only thing left was a piece of jade hidden in my innermost clothing. A keepsake from my mother. I planned to pawn it to repay Gujiuzhou for the medicine. Not far from the Gu mansion, the ninth prince's men blocked my path. Miss, we've been looking all over for you. He grabbed my wrist. Come with me to see the ninth prince. I won't go. Your contract belongs to the prince. You have no choice. A dark shadow appeared nearby. He kicked away the ninth prince's men and shouted, who dares cause trouble at the general's mansion gate? Gujiuzhou swung his sword, and the man fled in panic. If only then I had left decisively, there wouldn't have been so much trouble later. Of all this, my heart turned as cold as the bath water. Get to bed early after you wash up. Okay, I stand up and put on my robe. She walks in and hands me a bowl of medicine. It's contraceptive tea. I don't ask anything. I drink it all down. I dream all night. In my dreams, Gu Zhuzhou stands under the pear tree. He looks back and smiles at me. I reach out, but I watch him turn to mist and fade away. I wake up with a splitting headache. I prop myself up with both hands. Shoot up. A sour feeling clogs my chest. Someone outside the door says softly. The general orders her to be sent away. My heart sinks. One night isn't nearly enough. I need to think of another way to stay by his side for good. Back at the tribute girls' quarters, someone asks about my night. I just smile and find a corner to sit in. An envoy comes in and asks if any of us can dance. He says tonight the Northern Qi General is hosting a banquet and needs someone to perform. I won't miss any chance to get in front of Xiaoyan. I stand up, bow, and say softly, sir, I've studied dance. Are you good at it? General Xiao is the Northern Qi Ting's own nephew. The king has no son, so he treats him like his own. We can't mess this up. Don't worry, sir. I've trained for years. I won't embarrass you. The envoy looks me up and down and says go change into your dance costume and rehearse with the musicians. Yes. I change into my dance costume, pale yellow silk, thin as gossamer. My jade-like figure shows through. After fixing my hair, I turn in front of the bronze mirror. Like a peony flower in bloom, the envoy stares mesmerized. Sir, how do I look? After a moment, he snaps out of it and swallows hard. Excellent, excellent. He pats my shoulder and says, this costume looks made for you. Dance well. I follow a maid across the covered bridge to a pavilion by the lake. The guests haven't arrived yet. My hands are already slick with a thin layer of sweat. The last time I danced was for Gu Zhuzhou's birthday. He said he didn't like celebrating his mother died in childbirth. His birthday is his mother's death anniversary. He stared at the sky sadly. I felt a kindred sadness. My mother died young too. She was the only person who ever loved me. Someone outside the courtyard started playing I danced to the melody under the pear tree. Zhuzhou pulled himself from his thoughts. His brow softened. Halfway through, the ninth prince burst in, furious. He had my indenture contract in his hand. He grabbed my wrist. Come back to the estate with me. Gu Zhuzhou stepped in front of me. Your Highness, when it comes to buying contracts, both parties must sign. Did once you sign this contract? The ninth prince froze. Gu Zhuzhou continued, if your Highness still has doubts, I can ask the emperor. That won't be necessary. He glances around, slams the contract on the table, and says through gritted teeth, we'll see about this. If Gu Zhuzhou hadn't stood up for me then, he wouldn't have offended the ninth prince. And the prince wouldn't have pushed the emperor to send Gu Zhuzhou to battle while sick, leading to his death. Maybe I was born cursed. I don't deserve any warmth or kindness. Memories flood my mind. I grip the fan so tight my fingertips turn white. The moment I step on stage, I see a familiar face sitting on the right. It's Qiming, Gu Zhuzhou's former deputy. He recognizes me too. His eyes show a hint of surprise. My heart pounds like a drum. I keep my composure. The music starts. I begin to dance. Xiaoyan arrives late and takes his seat. I dance up to the guests, flick my sleeves, and flash a flirtatious look. The officials leer. Xiaoyan just sits there, face rigid. I move with the music back to center stage. A Northern Qi official, worked up, stands and lunges at me. I spin gracefully. He falls to the ground. He doesn't get angry. He just laughs harder. The guests on both sides start egging him on. Grab her. Grab her. Xiaoyan picks up his wine cup. His throat bobs twice. He slams the table twice and roars. Who dressed her like that? The music stops. Everyone drops to their knees. Xiaoyan is like a raging beast. Get out, all of you. I start to turn away. He points at me. You? Come here. Everyone else backs out, heads down. I walk slowly toward him, step by step. Xiaoyan pulls me into his arms. With his other hand, he picks up his wine cup, takes a sip, and kisses my lips. He parts my teeth and passes the wine to me. No. My heart races. I glance toward Qiming's back. Xiaoyan's chest heaves. He bends down, throws me over his shoulder, leads me into the inner room, tosses me onto the bed, and bites my earlobe. I don't like you dressed like this. I don't like other men looking at you that way. My heart races wildly. I look at him, eyes brimming with tears. But I'm a tribute girl. I have to serve not just the general but others too. Then there won't be anyone else. His burning kisses fall. They steal my breath. I sink into his arms. My heart aches and tightens. Mama Jin once said a man's love is fleeting, but his possessiveness isn't. From what I see now, if Qiming doesn't expose me, I'm one step closer to success. Exhausted and weak, I pass out. When I wake up, Xiao is getting dressed. I take his belt and wrap my arms around his waist like vines. From now on, you'll stay here. You'll only serve me. Yes, I answer sweetly. He lifts my chin and kisses the corner of my mouth. I hold on to him. General, won't you stay tonight either? No. He closes the door. Kaiping brings the contraceptive tea again. She asks me, Miss, do you want to bathe? No need. Since I'm staying now, there's no rush. I have time. I want to walk around the courtyard. You don't need to follow. Kaiping thinks for a moment, then nods and says okay. I walk along the corridor. The cold wind cuts my face like a knife. Images of Xiaoyan on top of me play over and over in my mind. I think of Gu Zhuzhou. One night, we almost became husband and wife. That day he came back from a palace banquet. The imperial concubine had secretly drugged him. When Qiming helped him inside, his whole body was burning up. He muttered, "The water. Get cold water." A bucket of cold water poured over him didn't help. Qiming called a doctor they knew. The doctor shook his head. The drug has a time limit. If the general can hold out through willpower, he'll be fine. But he's suffering badly. Then, he needs to be with a woman. I press my lips together. Timing and the doctor exchange knowing looks and step outside. I take a deep breath. Better to give this body to him than to someone else. I help him sit on the edge of the bed. He says with restraint, Wangqi, what are you doing? Giving you the antidote. I slip off my clothes and press against his burning chest. The ugly scars on my back must have startled him. He pushes me away hard. He pulls a dagger from under the pillow and slashes his own palm, using pain to suppress desire. I feel humiliated, tears well in my eyes. His voice is hoarse. Put your clothes back on. You're disgusted by me, aren't you? No. Then why won't you take me? I don't want you to regret it. He takes a deep breath and says with restraint, and I don't want to regret it either. This should be mutual. The imperial concubine tried to seduce me with a drug. If I took you as an antidote, how would I be any different from her? Something stirs in my heart. It feels sticky, damp, and faintly sour. I close my robe, take out gauze from the cabinet, and bandage his wound. He leans against the headboard with his eyes closed. His other hand forms a fist pressed to his forehead, covered in sweat. Why did the imperial concubine drug you? Gu Jiuzhou is silent for a long time. His voice is low. She used to be my fiancée. Later she broke off the engagement and entered the palace. Today, when no one was around, she told me she regretted it. I refused. She begged me to have one drink with her. I didn't expect this. It's all my fault. He's always like this. When someone else does wrong, he blames himself. The wind that night was strong. It rattled the window frames. My heart trembled with it. Now, the wind howls like a lion. It's as if that wind followed me all the way to northern Qi. I can't help but shiver. A man's voice rides the wind into my ear. Miss, you're dressed too lightly. I turn around. It's Timing. I knew he'd come find me. I just didn't expect it so soon. His eyes linger on the bruises on my neck. He frowns. Miss, how did you end up here? How did you become a tribute girl? I speak bluntly. For Gu Jiuzhou. He freezes, then says quietly, if the general were still alive and saw you debase yourself like this, he'd be heartbroken. Let me find a way to send you back. I can't go back. Timing, my voice catches in my throat. When the general was alive, he respected you, cherished you. Now you lie beneath another man in shame. Miss Wenqi, is it worth it? For Gu Jiuzhou, it's worth it. Miss, you want to kill Shi Xiaoyan? I clench my fists, facing the cold wind. Yes. What if I told you the one who killed the general wasn't Xiaoyan? His eyes darken. My heart skips. Deputy Qi, you're lying to stop me from getting revenge. No, the one who killed the general wasn't Xiaoyan. General Xiao knows. We served different masters. We fought many times, but we respected each other, enemies and friends. He pauses, then continues. General Gu was sick for so long. Xiaoyan said he didn't want to win unfairly. So he proposed both armies retreat 3 miles and fight again after General Gu recovered. But Gu Jiuzhou never got that fair battle. He died on the road back to camp after a riding competition with Xiaoyan. Someone murdered him brutally and cut off his head. That person attacked the northern Qi Bai Mai. It was a disaster. He left Gu Jiuzhou's body on a battlefield covered with corpses. He secretly had someone take his head back to the capital and hang it on the city wall. The people thought their beloved general had lost the battle. They thought he cost them, their families, and the nation its territory. Gu Jiuzhou's head faced the cold northern wind and the people's curses. In a corner no one noticed, the real killer smiled wickedly. Timing says all this with red eyes. He grabs my shoulders excitedly. Miss, go back. You're not the only one who wants revenge for the general. With a whoosh, an arrow flies between us and pierces the pillar behind. Yan stands in the shadows not far away. Let her go. Do all Southern Wei generals like Wenqi? I freeze. He called me Wangqi. He knows who I am. Xiaoyan has his men take Timing away. He drags me back to the bedroom. He sweeps his arm. I'm thrown onto the table. The teapot and cups shatter on the floor. I hold back tears and ask him, you know who I am. You knew my identity all along. You did this on purpose. Xiaoyan meets my eyes. The darkness in them deepens. His tone is flat. What right do you have to question me? Shi Wenqi, you're the one who lied first. He smirks and pulls out a painting from his robe. It's stained with dried blood. It's a portrait of me, one Gu Jiuzhou painted when I lived at his estate. That day he took me to the Lantern Festival. There was an artist on the street painting portraits. A mother and daughter sat there. The little girl laughed in her mother's arms, bathed in warmth. It reminded me of my mother and me when I was little. I stared for a long time. You like it? At the Drunken Wind Tower, Mama Qian had an artist paint my portrait for clients to choose from. Carefully made up, posed unnaturally. The person in the painting wore a mask. It wasn't really me. I wanted a portrait that was truly mine. Gu Jiuzhou patted my shoulder gently. I answered, I like it. General, have you studied painting? I have. He smiled and handed me a piece of white sugar cake. My eyes went wide. He laughed. I saw you standing at that stall for a while. You like these? My eyes burned. For a moment I didn't know what to say. My calm heart felt like a stone had been dropped in it, rippling outward. I took a bite. It wasn't like my mother's, but it was warm and sweet. When we got back, Gu Jiuzhou set up his easel and sketched me. I sat for an hour. My body got stiff. He put down his brush and said, I'll add color and give it to you later. Later, I never got the painting. Turns out he carried it with him every day. This huge wave of emotion nearly suffocates me. My voice shakes. Did he give it to you? He lowers his eyes. I lunge forward and grab his collar. Tell me. I buried him for someone. No head. If not for this portrait he clutched, I wouldn't have recognized him. How do you know this portrait was his? He had a gloomy face. He showed it off to me several times, said she was the one he loved. A huge shock hit me like thunder. I forced myself to stay calm. You recognized me the first time you saw me? Yes. My hands clenched into fists, my chest heaving. Why didn't you expose me? Why did you still? Don't know. His eyes darted away, his body trembling slightly. I couldn't believe it, holding back tears. I asked him, what did he tell you? Many things between you two. He said he and Gu Zhuzhao fought for years. Won some, lost some, they respected each other. This battle shouldn't have happened. But the Ming prince violated the princess sent for the marriage alliance. The king of Beiki was furious, sent troops overnight, broke through 3 cities of Nanwei. Gu Zhuzhou took command in crisis, fought him. He saw Gu Zhuzhou's pale face, said his illness seemed suspicious, told him to watch those close to him. He said to wait till you recover to fight again. After discussions, both sides retreated 3 miles. The weather was great. Gu Zhuzhou and Xiao Yan agreed to compete in archery. Before it started, Gu Zhuzhou coughed lightly. He pulled out a handkerchief and a small portrait fell from his chest. Xiao Yan picked it up. It showed a beautiful woman. Bright eyes, white teeth, sparkling pupils. The great general of Nanwei carried such a romantic thing. She's the one I love. After this battle, I'll go back and ask for her hand. But he never came back. My heart felt like it was gripped by an invisible hand, squeezed so tight I couldn't breathe. He did say he'd marry me. At the Lantern Festival, my father happened to see me with the General of the North. He shamelessly showed up at the door, blurted out calling Gu Zhuzhou his son-in-law. I blocked his way. What are you doing here? Get lost. Father's face darkened. What, now that you're the general's woman, you don't recognize your own father? You disowned me first. You said I'm no longer part of the Xu family. How can words said in anger between father and daughter count? He smiled obsequiously, making me sick. Get lost, I don't want to see you again. We stood in a stalemate. More and more people gathered at the Gu residence gate. Gu Zhuzhao smiled gently. Wang Qi's indenture is at my residence. She belongs to the Gu family. Father wiped his lips. Fine. You took my daughter as a concubine. Give me the bride price. What bride price? My parents died long ago. I shouted. Won't acknowledge me. He grabbed my hair, pulled up my back. You're the daughter I sold to the brothel. Look at all your scars, from when the Madame Stuggs beat you for escaping. Like a demon, his words stabbed into my heart, one by one. Gu Zhuzhou yanked hard. He fell to the ground. Got up, but kept cursing. I couldn't take it anymore. I drew Gu Zhuzhou's sword, held it before him. Get lost. If I see you again, I'll take your life. He spat and ran off like a coward. The crowd around us gossiped, like they hadn't seen enough. Gu Zhuzhou coughed lightly, grabbed my hand, his voice loud. Don't worry, you're not some concubine. You're my lawfully wedded wife. Just words to save face. I didn't take them seriously, ran to my room to pack. Gu Jinzhou followed in. Where are you going? I can't keep causing you trouble. I have to leave. Fine, eat this first. A bag of sugar cakes was pressed into my hands, warm. I just realized. His forehead was covered in sweat. Earlier he said he had to do something, so this was it. Won't eat it. I pushed it back into his hands. Gu Zhuzhou winced. Only then did I notice the wound on his palm that had healed had split open again. At him, he smiled. Couldn't win against those aunties. I treated his wound. Angry but amused. Why does the mighty general act like this in private? I'm human, not a god. His voice was gentle. I asked him, does it hurt? The moonlight was cold, candle flames flickered. His finger gently rubbed against mine. A slight tickle, like it drilled into my heart. I stood up to put the medicine away. Gu Zhizhao suddenly grabbed my wrist. He pointed at my neck. Wanzi, you're hurt here too. Must have been just now when my father scratched me. He took the medicine from my hand. Let me help you. The heart in my chest suddenly wasn't calm anymore. He lowered his head, focused. I held my breath, letting that inch of cool skin with its stinging pain seep through layer by layer. You don't need to leave. After applying the medicine, he stood at the door. His gaze fell on my half-packed belongings. I said in front of all those people I'd marry you. I'll definitely keep my word. I froze. He seemed to joke. You wouldn't want the great General Gu to break his word in front of everyone, would you? Guzhou broke his word after all. Life's unpredictable. I'll never see the day he marries me. Sorrow like a raging tide made my eyes wet. I told Xiao Yan I'm leaving Beiki to go back for revenge. He sneered. Revenge? How? You don't know martial arts. You can't even get close to him. He approached me, gripped my chin. Or do you want to offer yourself again? I stepped back, stepped on a broken teacup, picked it up, pointed it at him. Don't you dare touch me again. Wanqi, being my woman, isn't that good? No, I'm alive for one purpose only. Avenge Gu Jiuzhou. He's already dead. Can't change that. Why torture yourself? Xiao Yan pressed closer. My back hit the cabinet. You keep saying you treated Gu Zhuzhao as a friend. You knew who I was. He grabbed my neck, furious. Shi Wanqi, you're blinded by hatred, aren't you? That day selecting tribute girls. If I hadn't recognized you, who knows under which man you'd be suffering abuse. This peony flower on your back, would an ordinary girl have it tattooed? Are you stupid, or am I? His face flushed, breathing rapid. In a moment, a forceful kiss landed on my lips. My hands pressed against his chest. The broken porcelain shard dug into my palm, blood dripped down drop by drop. The pain made me lose patience. I opened my mouth and bit his lip. Xiaoyan kissed deeper. Till the smell of blood filled my nose, he gasped and let me go. Even without that portrait, I still would have chosen you. His voice carried a murderous edge. I wiped the blood from my lips, sneered. You can't touch me again, Xiaoyan. He froze. I continued. Unless you want to die. Just like Xiaoyan said, I'm powerless. How can I get revenge? Before coming to Beiki, I thought of a method. When I was sick as a child, father wouldn't pay for a doctor. Mother went into the mountains in the rain to find herbs. She didn't know medicine, didn't dare feed them to me directly. She boiled the herbs into water, had me soak in it. I really recovered. After that I rarely got sick. I copied mother's method, ground 3 of the most poisonous herbs into powder. Mixed them with fragrance, bathed in it. Over time, I became a poison person. The poison spreads during intimacy, entering the body through sweat. My contact with Xiaoyan wasn't enough, otherwise he'd already be dead from the poison. He angrily grabbed my neck again. You think this way? I'll let you go, let you climb into the 9th prince's bed, please him like you pleased me? I won't allow it. He gritted his teeth, word by word. General Xiao can have any woman he wants. Why keep pestering me? A fierce light flashed in his eyes. Believe it or not, I'll throw you into the barracks. See, what happened to the other tribute girls who came with you? I laughed coldly. The general doesn't know, I came from a brothel. What filth haven't I seen? Bang, his fist smashed the wooden table. Blood flowed down his wrist. Stay, I'll get revenge for you. Why should I trust you? Except for Gu Zhou, I trust no one. Ho Xiaoyan turned and pulled out a map from the bookshelf. He pointed at a red dot. We're here. He pointed at Nanwei's capital. Within a month, I can attack here. Without Gu Zhou. Nanwei is just a porcelain vase that shatters at a touch. You're pretending to negotiate peace, but in reality, his eyes gleamed. Attacking Nanwei is inevitable. I stayed at the Beiki military camp. After that, Xiaoyan never touched me again. He ordered Kaiping to watch me, bathe every day. I knew what he was thinking. He wanted to remove the poison from my body. After bathing this day, Kaiping brought my nightgown. Her hand paused midair, froze for a moment. I asked, what's wrong? The peony flower on your back seems to have faded some. My heart shook. After she left, I stood before the bronze mirror, twisted my head to look for a long time. This was the only thing Gu Zhou left me. Now, can't I even keep this? I remember the night before he left for war. I helped him pack, so busy. But he stood by the pear tree in the moonlight, staring at me dreamily, smiling. Ying, won't the general come take a look, if you can't find things at the cat? Don't blame me. He smiled wider, walked over. I won't. Whatever once he does suits my heart. I couldn't help but laugh. Only heard him praise people, never scold anyone. But this good-tempered man also showed anger when I was insulted on the street. After packing, we planned to buy sugar cakes. The shop closed early. On the way back, Gu Jiushou disappeared somewhere. An old woman grabbed me. She pointed at my nose, told the people nearby. She's a prostitute, seduced our general. A femme fatale. I saw the scars on her back, hideous. You better know your place, stay away from the general. If he loses this battle, you're the sinner. Spreading lies. This general has fought wars, seen slaughter, never misjudged anyone. Wang Qi is kind-hearted, nothing like what you say. If anyone spreads rumors again, don't blame me. Gu Yuzhou's eyes were fierce. He led me out of the crowd. The Gu residence, I pulled my hand away, looked down, didn't dare look at him. General, thank you for speaking up for me just now. Wang Qi, he reached to put his arm around my shoulder. I stepped back. General, you're leaving tomorrow, rest early. He pulled me. I fell into his arms. I heard him ask, what are you afraid of? General, I have nothing, so naturally I fear nothing. You're different. Can't let me ruin your reputation. How could that be? He frowned. My broken body isn't worthy of you. If you mind the scars on your body, I have a solution. Without a word, he pulled me to the study, the moment he raised his brush. He paused, face flushed. Pardon me. He gently lifted my hair, pulled out my collar, painted on my back. The brush tip touched my skin. That faint tickle drilled right into my heart. Can't get it wet today. Tomorrow I'll have the steward bring the best tattoo artist in the capital to set the color. This way you'll have no more scars. Why a peony? I turned to look at him. Because you are a peony. His gaze was intense. My heart pounded. Early next morning, when he left for war, his face was pale. I almost forgot he'd been coughing for days. This time he left sick. Gu Jizhou saw my worry. Don't worry. The army doctor will take good care of me. Wait for me to come back. He kissed my forehead softly. That was our only kiss in this life. The door creaked open. I snapped back, put on my clothes. Xiaoyan stood outside. I turned around. Yes. Nothing. Tomorrow we attack Jingzhou. Just letting you know. Jingzhou, west of Nanwei's capital. Take it. And Nanwei will fall. Perfect timing. Spring's almost here. The pear blossoms will bloom. Without Gu Jiuzhou, Nanwei's army was like scattered sand. Xiaoyan quickly broke through Nanwei's capital, captured the king. I stood in the ruins of the Gu residence, found that pear tree about to bloom. Before leaving, Xiaoyan asked if I'd join him storming the palace. I said, no need. Just hand over the 9th prince to me. I have things to do, not just the 9th prince. Many people must answer for this tragedy. When I got to the shufe, I saw a hunched old man carrying firewood inside. A woman in the yard was beating and cursing him. Old fool, took you forever to chop some firewood. My brother stood next to her, not saying a word. The old man's bare legs were covered in scars. He deserved that. I waited in the backyard for a long time, till sunset, till they all fell asleep. Then with one fire, I ended it all. Smoke filled the air. I heard the old man's screams, the woman begging for help. My heart was like still water. Without their greed, I would have ended up at Zufeng House. I wouldn't have met the ninth prince. Guji Yuzhou would still be a spirited young general. So what if they were blood relatives? They only wanted to devour me whole. Better I ended all myself. Covered in ash, I returned to the villa where Xiao Yan was staying. His eyes showed shock. I asked, where is he? Where? In the dungeon. I asked him for a dagger and went straight down. He didn't look like a prince anymore. His hands were chained in iron. His eyes were empty. Seeing me, he showed an evil smile. So it's you. Shi Wangqi, you're a traitor. Thinking that someone like you will rule Nanwei one day. Better the kingdom fall sooner. I severed his hand tendons in seconds. He curled up on the ground in pain, cold sweat pouring out. I stepped on him. Gu Jiuzhou's illness. You poisoned him in secret, right? He laughed, acknowledging it. You deliberately humiliated the Beiki princess, stirred up conflict between the two kingdoms, then convinced your father to send Gu Zhou to battle while sick, then killed him in secret. Cut off his head, humiliated him. Why? He was loyal and devoted. What did he do wrong? Why did you do this to him? Some people don't need to do anything. Their existence is the mistake. Hearing his answer, I kicked hard. Just like he kicked me back then. Shen. Shi Wangqi, you only have yourself to blame. What I won't. Even if I can't have it, I won't let anyone else have it either. I dug my nails and, using sharp pain to cover the sudden surge of hatred, you could have killed me. Why take his life too? He coughed up blood. Killing you would be too easy. I wanted you to feel what it's like to lose someone you love. You know, when I cut off his head, he wasn't dead yet. He begged me not to hurt you. What a devoted lover. He laughed like a maniac. My heart felt like it was carved into 1,000 pieces by a sharp blade. Every piece was being gnawed, corroded, pierced. With tears in my eyes, I cut his flesh piece by piece. Blood pooled more and more on the ground. The ninth prince had long stopped breathing. His tattered corpse I had hung on the city wall. The war march sun quickly rotted him to white bones, swaying in the wind, with nowhere to be buried. Xiao Yan came to see me. He said, what I promised you. I did it all. What about what you promised me? The wedding attire is all ready. I convinced my uncle. You and my cousin will both be my equal wives, no hierarchy. I glanced coldly at his face. I still want to see one more person. The former imperial concubine of Nanwei, the one who betrayed Gu Jiuzhou and conspired with the ninth prince to frame him. The concubine by now was just a woman thrown into the military camp for anyone to use. Her clothes were torn, shackles on her feet. Who are you? My name is Wanxiang, Gu Jiuzhou's fiancée. She lowered her head with a wick, lifting a hand to touch the stained hairpin in her hair. So it's you. You broke off the engagement. You betrayed him first. Why did you conspire with the ninth prince to convince the emperor to send him to war? In this world, many things have no reason. He and I were childhood sweethearts. Childhood affection is worth nothing. Better to be the woman beside the man with supreme power. A faint smile appeared at the corner of her lips. I gripped my skirt tight. You were an imperial yet you shamelessly drugged him with aphrodisiacs. Miss Wanqi, the feeling of sleeping with someone you don't love. Have you experienced it? She asked me back with a shrill voice. Suddenly, I remembered my days in Beiti. I said coldly, you're not worthy of loving him. If I couldn't have both, I could only choose one. The ninth prince had no mother. He promised me that once he became emperor, he'd make me empress dowager. You're the same age as him, you too. So what? I wanted the highest position in the harem. A fire burned in my chest. I couldn't help but rush forward and grab her collar. You abandoned him once, then you tried to destroy him completely. Winner takes all. Kill me if you want. Either way, my life's already hell. Her eyes were resolute. I let go, walked outside the camp. A guard asked Miss, should we take action? No need, just let her live. Neither human nor ghost. I promised Xiao Yan. He let me deal with the ninth prince. I'd marry him. On the wedding day, I sat by the window getting ready, in full bridal attire. The spring breeze blew gently, pure blossoms scattered on the windowsill. Kaiping came to cover my head with the red veil. I stopped her. Wait. I need to go somewhere. I opened the side door, walked through the alley, step by step toward the Gu residence. Kaiping sensed something wrong and ran back to get help. Pure blossoms swayed in the wind, like snow. Just as my hand touched, Xiao Yan grabbed me away. What are you doing? Come back with me and get married. I smiled faintly at him. I miss Gu Jiuzhou. I came to see him. His expression froze. I continued. His head is buried beneath your feet. Xiao Yan stepped back. Let's go. I struggled, hugging the tree trunk. No, I'm staying here. Xiao Yan pulled me hard. Pure petals fell down, fragrance everywhere. Back and forth. He lost patience and picked me up. No, I can't leave. Almost there. I coughed up blood. Xiao Yan stopped. Put me down. I coughed up more blood, spraying it on his red robe. He froze. Wanqi you. I took poison. I moved a step closer to the pure tree. Kneeling before it, my vision blurred. Gu Jiuzhou. I'm dying here. Together with you. Xiao Yan rushed over, picked me up, shouted to those behind him. Get a physician. I waved my hands, saying, no, don't carry me away. I want to die here. My organs all hurt. My consciousness drifted, with a sound. Black blood stained my wedding dress. Gu Jiuzhou, on the road to the afterlife, I'll be your wife. Epilogue. The first time Xiaoyan saw Wan Qi, it wasn't in person. It was a portrait Gu Jiao accidentally dropped. Just a piece of paper, yet he treasured it. The woman in the painting was truly beautiful. Xiaoyan asked, which noble lady is this? Gu Jiuzhou smiled gently, a commoner's daughter. But the best woman in the world. Xiaoyan scoffed. Gu Jiuzhou clearly hadn't met enough women. Why does he get to meet the best one? They agreed to compete at the horse field. Clearly, Gu Jiuzhou wasn't doing well. His lips were dark. He said it was illness, but Xiaoyan thought it looked like poison. Born in the Beiti royal family, he'd seen such tactics. But given their special positions, he couldn't say it directly, he just warned him. Told him to watch out for those around him. The moment he mounted his horse, that portrait fell out again. Xiaoyan asked Gu Jiuzhou, is she really that wonderful? What's your devotion? After 2 more meetings, Xiaoyan remembered that woman's name. Wang Qi. When the camp was attacked at night, Xiaoyan was annoyed. He didn't expect Jiuzhou to be so cunning, until the counterattack succeeded. He saw the commanding officer wasn't Gu Jiuzhou, it was Nanwei's 9th prince. Hearing Gu Jiuzhou was dead, Xiaoyan rushed to the battlefield overnight. He and Gu Jiuzhou had fought for years. Xiaoyan even thought, if he won this battle, he'd recruit him. Never thought he'd die like this. Without that portrait, no one could recognize the headless Gu Jiuzhou. Xiaoyan buried him right there. Sighing inwardly, lost a good opponent. That portrait, Xiaoyan kept with him. He wondered if the woman in the painting, hearing of Gu Jiuzhou's death, would cry her eyes out. The next time he saw Wan Qi, she stood straight before Xiaoyan. He was stunned. How did she become a tribute woman? Then a strange sense of relief. He chose her, Xiaoyan convinced himself. He was just looking after Gu Jiuzhou's would-be wife. But the woman didn't see it that way. She wore thin gauze, eyes glistening as she looked at him. Her slender waist so delicate, Xiaoyan's cold heart suddenly stirred. He couldn't remain unmoved. He saw the peony flowers behind Wang Qi. He suddenly remembered Gu Jiuzhou once said she was like a peony. Beautiful but not fragile, can be used as medicine, heals hearts, affection everlasting. After that night, Xiaoyan reminded himself it couldn't go further. He thought if he didn't see her for a few days, he'd forget. But when she wore dense clothes to tempt other men, uncontrollable rage made him want to crush this woman. In the corridor, he overheard Wan Qi talking with Gu Jiuzhou's former subordinate. Turns out this woman came to avenge Gu Jiuzhou. She mistook him for her husband's killer. That night, by candlelight, Xiaoyan held the portrait, staring at the bloodstains for long. Gu Jiuzhou, you love the right person. Her heart and eyes are full of you, she'd give her life. But jealousy grew in Xiaoyan's heart. He couldn't imagine Wang Qi beneath another man. He had to keep her. On the wedding day, Xiaoyan lost his love. She was so resolute she took poison to die, to be ghost spouses with Gu Jiuzhou. Anger, frustration, jealousy. Mixed emotions kept Xiaoyan awake all night. In the end, he chose to let her have her wish. He buried Wang Qi beneath the pure tree, together with Gu Jiuzhou. If there's a next life, may you two be fulfilled. And may I never see you again.